Welcome back. My name's Christina and we're going to go and transform this. So let's see what happens. I'm going to walk you through all the details and the products I'm going to use to transform this into something else.
Always remember to prep your pieces, removing the hardware, cleaning them really well, all surfaces inside and out. I purchased this dresser for $30. This is a great example of a piece that someone wanted to refinish the wood and even painted the frame. Unfortunately, the wood was in pretty rough shape, and even with what I'm sure was a lot of work, didn't quite look what they were hoping for. So this is where the magic of decorative finishes is a fantastic way to upcycle your furniture. Here I am painting the frame graphite. Once I completed the frame in graphite, I am now going to use French linen for the drawer fronts as well as the tabletop. The key component with working with chalk paint is water, so I always start with a moist paintbrush and always add water as I apply my paint. Because I'm painting a raw wood tabletop, generally you only need one good coat of chalk paint. So for this first technique, which is a faux plank wood using chalk paint, I started off with my painter's tape to indicate where I want my plank wood design to be on the top surface. So here you can see I've made two paint wash mixes, one in graphite and one in Enfleur, with two separate brushes. And as we continue, I will talk you through exactly what I'm doing. The first step is to outline your plank wood with your color wash. Even if this were one solid wood board, the same steps apply, and you will create the same look, even without separated boards. The next step is using a dry separate brush on a 45-degree angle. You want to push along the board. This is creating a grain effect. With a small separate brush, I create a 360 circle to give the appearance of wood knots. So the reason I've added the duct tape is I've created a dark border, and this is giving the effect of separate boards as I keep creating. So each faux plank will have a darker outer edge. This is giving the illusion of separate boards. It is an important step to lightly sweep the wood grain. This is to create a softened wood grain and knot look. I also soften out my dark plank frames for a more natural softened appearance. And you can use the same dry brush you did to make the grains. I recommend having a shop towel or clean cloth just for an offload as you're collecting the paint wash and creating these wood grains. A great brush for making the wood grains and softening touches is just a plain old simple chip brush. For a long plank, I will add graphite, a black wash, for the knots and to add some grain definition. Natural woods come in many different tone variations. This technique is a lot of fun, and it is truly very simple. You can use any chalk paint product that you like. Wood colors come in many different tones. Play with it, have fun, don't be scared. It's only paint. What's the worst that's going to happen? Paint over it, try it again. Just like cooking. First few times we cook, we don't always get it right, but when we do it again, you'd be surprised what you can make. Again, this is so easy and it's actually a lot of fun. And if for any reason you want to stop, no problem. This is what I love about chalk paint. I throw my brushes in a bag so I don't have to keep cleaning them. I put lids on my containers, whether they're washes or paint mix. Walk away, go do what I want to do, come back when I'm ready, and start where I left off. It's that easy. The color variations of woods that you can make with this particular technique is endless. You can make a whitewash wood, a gray wood, a red wood. You can even go with a really, really dark using a lot more of the black wash if you wanted. Sky's the limit. It's so much fun using decorative finishes for your furniture projects. Let's get a good aerial shot of the faux plank wood completely dry. Then I want to get into our next technique.
Super happy with how our faux wood has turned out. It looks really organic, and considering it's already a sectioned piece of wood, it was kind of the right theme to go with for a tabletop for this particular piece. Now, for the fronts of these, I want to create a little bit more high and low lights with the drawers. So I have the French linen on, and I'm going to try, which I recently just got, a Worcester Pro Wool. It's actually quite handy, little guy. Look at that. Worcester Pro. So this is nice because it's got the handle here rather than the other mesher I've used in my previous tutorials where you're holding it like this. So this definitely has a bit better of a grip. And again, we're just going to mesh some color tones to give some highlights and lowlights. And I'm going to use some glaze. You don't have to use glaze. You just need to use a steady stream of water. So these are fantastic because it mists, so it has this like even misting versus just a spray bottle. A spray bottle will have a little bit more of just a direct to one spot, whereas this kind of has a nice gradual giving moisture at an even rate across, you know, the particular portion you're working on. So this is great. And where I was going with that is, again, you'd have to just keep a steady flow of water to do the meshing. But the reason I love glaze is because it's almost like it's just holding the paint just long enough that I can place what I need to, do what I need to, giving the same play value as what water would be doing. But glaze is just, it doesn't run down, it stays in one spot. And again, the clear glaze is just a decorative medium. It's almost, glaze is almost like paint with no pigment. So you're just adding that velocity to it to play around with what you want to do. So anyway, I'm gonna go and get started and let's see how this turns out.
I am going to use General Finishes water-based clear glaze. You can use extender for more working time, optional. Separate brushes for my glaze and chalk paint colors, and I'm going to use graphite, country gray, and French linen. An important product, but a total option, Starbucks. The first step in color meshing technique is apply your clear glaze first. I always recommend working in small sections. So depending on your color design, apply your chalk paint where you would like the colors to blend, and you're going to apply them directly on top of the clear glaze. The beautiful component about this meshing applicator is it's doing the blending for you. It is so easy. You're literally tap, 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 tap. It's picking up the paint, putting it down, picking up the paint, putting it down. And it's literally colliding the paint and meshing for you. It's fantastic. A key component to using the color meshing pad is that you offload, and to make sure that your meshing applicator pad is not getting too saturated with paint and glaze. If for any reason you're not happy with what you just blended, no problem at all. Wait for it to dry, apply your clear glaze again, add your paints, and do it again. When I'm using my meshing applicator, as a general rule, I will go around and use the lighter tones that I've chosen and mesh with those first. Offload, then go to my darker colors, so this way I'm not crossing over too frequently. This way I can control where I want my paints and tone colors to present themselves in the color design that I'm creating. If for any reason you want to stop midway through your project, no problem at all. Grab some Ziploc bags, put your meshing applicator and your paint brushes into the bags, put lids onto your paint, walk away and come back when you're ready. You're good to go. If for any reason, as you are meshing and blending your paints and you want an area to be a little bit lighter or a little bit darker, just grab your paint choice and put it on there. The glaze is giving you enough time and working time that you've got lots of control. After I cleaned the hardware, I wanted to complete it with a nice metallic finish, removing the brassy look they originally had. I found the sample size of Art Mind's metallic paint in umber, giving them a fresh new look with a deep copper tone. This is an excellent way to upcycle the current hardware a furniture piece already has, without the expense of buying new ones.
So I'm so happy with how this project has turned out. The Rooster mesher is fantastic. It is a little bit smaller, so when your pieces are smaller, your drawers are smaller, it is another great, fantastic meshing tool, so I do recommend that. And all the products that I use for any of my tutorials are available in the description box below. I'm going to go ahead and clear wax this with chalk paint clear wax. You can also use a lacquer. There's a matte lacquer if you prefer to use a lacquer. And I think I am also going to go around and add just a hint right at the edges and corners of my drawers and frame of a little tiny bit of the black wax. So if you want some tips and tricks on how to use the waxes, there's a couple tutorials in my video playlist on my channel. You're welcome if you are not familiar too much with the waxing process, so that's always available just to kind of give you a little bit of guidance. And yeah, don't forget to give me a thumbs up for this video, and any questions in the description box below, and don't forget to subscribe and share. We'll see you soon.